The engine is now turned upside down on the stand, and the next thing I'm going to do is to remove the oil pump and the oil pipes. And as you can see, it is particularly gungy. Something I wanted to show you guys is I have just spent probably the last 10 to 15 minutes banging back all the tabs. Yes, these little beasties here. And there is a lot of tabs. Believe me, it takes ages. Getting to some of them is not easy, and don't forget these ones down here as well. Then the next thing, once I've got all of those off, all those pipes off and the oil pump out, then really I'm going to, let me see, yeah, I'm going to undo all these castle nuts and try and push the pistons out one at a time. And then once I do that, then I'll undo all the main bearing caps. And do note that the bearing caps themselves are all numbered, and they are hopefully you can see this. It says SHF2, and if you look there on the bearing cap, it says SHF2. So you shouldn't be able to get it wrong. And also, obviously, you know, the stamp here goes with the stamp here, not twisted round the other way. And once all of that's done, then we will take the crank out. And just look at all the crap in there. Once I get the crank out, then I will be taking out the plugs in the crank. You can just about see one of them there. They're peened in, so it's going to be fun getting those little mothers out. But you have to get them out, especially when you see the crap that's in my engine, and probably yours too. It's in here, it's built up. If you do not get these plugs out and clean out that gunk, you will starve the bearings of oil. Guess what happens then? Yeah, you know it. You've got one seized and one very expensive repair. Alright guys, next thing I will take out the oil pump and pipes, and I will video me doing that, and hopefully it won't be too boring for you. As promised, next thing is to remove these oil pipes. These are 7/16. Let's see how it goes. Well, that was remarkably easy. Let me make sure I save these. Let me get a tray. This is always the best thing to do. That way you don't lose them. Let's put the tray down here. Actually, let's put the tray here. Now, is there any washers I need to save? There's a bracket there and a washer. Haha. Watch out you don't lose those mothers. Alright, next one. Looks like here. I gotta love this tool. Come on, take it. There you go. Right, there you go. I don't want to let go of this because there's a washer there. And I guess it really doesn't matter if I drop it inside the engine because I'm taking the whole thing apart. But I'm just anal. Alright, that's the next one here. Uh-oh. We have a problem, Houston. Problem was, and there it goes, dropped inside. Alright, I'll get that with my magnet in a little moment. This is now free, so now let me pull this pipe out of here, and there will be a seal in there, which will be renewed, of course. Okay, let's take this over to the parts washer. dump it in there. Now, let me get my little magnet and my relevant light while I remember. Click, 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 it was here. Haha. What a mofo. Okay, it's dropped. There it is. And with a little magnet, I got the baby. Always best, if you can, to capture those and get them dealt with while you remember. Especially if you're like me, you have a memory like a goddamn sieve. Alright, next is to grab this and move around this side. Hopefully the light's okay. It's getting a little dark here at the moment. There we go. Alright, so it looks like just this one here. If I can get my wrench on it, there we go. Wow. Oh gosh, I love this tool. Sorry, getting excited over a tool. Mr. Snap-on. Hey, Mr. Snap-on, if you want to pay me, I don't mind for recommending your tool. My wife doesn't recommend mine, so kind of be nice if you recommended it. Okay, I know. This is so disgusting, Mr. Maze. Alright, let's see now. This is awkward to get to. Damn. Can't get on that. Oh, hang on. Have I got the right size socket? Let's engage a brain cell here. Oh, yeah, I did. It's... Oh, I see. Okay, what has happened here is because of these tabs. There we go. Let's see. Got it. Now, this one, not sure. Let's try a short extension. I think my wife would like me to do that. Actually, no, she'd like a large extension. Alright, let's see now if I can get to it. There we go. Okay. Do note, these have those awful little tabs on them. Alright. That is nicely done. There she goes. There we go. Alright. And that's another pipe off. So we're looking pretty good here now. As I've said before, everything is really dirty. So we'll be progressing on that. One thing I'm gonna need to make note of, unfortunately as I'm videoing it, it'll do that. On this cylinder here, the bracket for the oil pipe, and on this cylinder here, the bracket for the oil pipe. This one is shorter than this one here, so don't forget that. Kind of handy when you're putting everything back together. And then of course you have this special one here. Alright guys, next thing I guess is to undo those 1, 2, 3 and pull off the oil pump. Well, I tell you what, let's do it right now. I believe I have the correct socket on there. Look at that. Damn, I wish this was smell-o-vision. You could smell the old burnt oil here. Okay, let's get those in there. They will go in with the oil pump. And there she is. Now, I will be taking this oil pump apart because the last vehicle I worked on, XK engine that is, when I took the pump apart, the main, I guess you'd call it rotor inside, was broken. Now the pump still worked, but not very efficiently. So once I've cleaned this up, I'll take it apart and we will see what we have. Once again, my hands are absolutely filthy. I will be really glad when I'm putting this car back together that it is no longer a gungy mess. And I know I've never mentioned this before, but once I've finished cleaning this engine, I'm going to paint the inside of the engine with a special paint. And if I am correct, the name is called Gyprol. And it's a great paint, and it makes the oil smooth. Oil smooth? I think I need another drink. The oil flow very smoothly, which is good. It gets back to the sump, and therefore it can be pumped up. All right, boys and girls, gonna move on now and start cracking these pistons off. So let's get moving on that. All right. Oh, this is great.
Here, you just drew the shaft kind of up and out of the way, and you got to put that gear where there's clearance on that cap.
Now, for those of you that are not as anal as me and don't pay attention to minor details, this is the oil pan filter. And as you can see, I've cleaned it up a bit, not finished yet. And I thought, well, I'm going to separate this because I like to make sure everything's clean and clear. Let me just show you what was underneath this. Look at that. Look at that filth. It's disgusting. And that would be in my engine. That is not going to happen. So, people, when you're doing this, take everything apart you can. It's worthwhile in the long run, believe me. As I said before, I tend to jump from one thing to another. As you can see, right here are 3 water pumps. I'm hoping to be able to at least make one good water pump, maybe with a rebuild kit, or I believe there is a company that do an exchange. Maybe I could give them 3 pumps and they'll give me one in return. This particular one, unfortunately, seems to have a busted impeller, so that one's no good to man nor beast. This one's quite rusty, but the body's good. And the same with this one. This is probably the one I'm going to try restoring if I can't get a exchange for them all. This one again, I mean, the body's fine, just the impeller's broken. This one, the body's fine, but not as good as the other 2, but still could be serviceable. But this is the one I'm going to choose. I will of course have to get one of these for this particular pump because it doesn't seem to have one, and I'm sure that's something I can obtain from one of the many Jaguar suppliers. Alright, just thought I'd throw that in before we move on to what I've been promising, which is to remove the pistons from the block. That's next, I promise. Here we go. Number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5, number 6. These are the bags that are ready for the pistons. Now I will start taking them out. Here we go. We're going to start with number 3 and number 4. Yes, this is the back of the engine. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Please. And let's start by getting these split pins out. Should, in theory, yep, there she goes. Just got to get a little bite on it. And please note that these split pins have actually been put in the correct way. A lot of people put them in the wrong way. How difficult is it? You see the head actually goes into the slot. That's how it should be. Some people mistakenly put it the other way. Now, while it would still work, that's not the way it should be. That's not the way it was designed. Alright, split pin out, one piston at a time here. See if this has got enough guts. It certainly does, which is remarkably pleasing. Now, yeah, I didn't think that would come apart easy. So, time for one of my many persuaders. Let's go for Midley. A little tapping while pulling up with your finger, and up she comes. Hooray, and up she rises. Huh? Come on, baby, you can do this. Very gently. Don't want to break anything, these are cast. Okay, and it left the bearing behind, and you see it actually does say, hopefully you can see that, number 3. Let's have a look at the bearing, bearing in mind. Let me just wipe it on my shirt, as you always do. Yeah, there is a bit of scoring there, right in the middle of the oil well. I'm not surprised, but at least the bearing has sacrificed itself at the expense, which is good. That's what you want the bearings to do. That's what they're there for. Well, that's one of the reasons they're there. And this looks okay. So now, next thing is to try and push. Oh my God, the piston is just pushing out with my fingers. Oh dear, I'm about to have an orgasm. Okay, now I can't reach any further. Orgasm delayed. Okay, there she goes, and she is out. No seized rings, which is good news. Let me get a cloth a second. Where's my cloth? Oh, you dumbass, it's over there. Alright. Cloth, one of the many old t-shirts I have. Let's have a look at this, shall we? Oh, okay, burning on the side. That's kind of expected in that area when you consider which way around the piston goes. These are the surfaces that are, you know, constantly rubbing backwards and forwards because they're in line with the crank, whereas these areas here are not. But that looks good, and once I clean the top off, I'll be able to see whether these are standard pistons or not. I believe they are, which is good because that means I can just hone the bores and put in standard piston rings. Not that these ones look bad, but I still want to replace them. A couple of the holes there, you can see that's clogged. Don't like those to be clogged. They should be nice and clear, so I'll be cleaning those out. And the main end where the bearing goes looks fine to me. Bolts look good. Alright, so let's put this back together, sort of. Oops. And again, you'll see there's a little notch there that rides in the bearing cap. Stops it from moving around. Oh, you idiot, Gary. Sorry, guys. The cap from here is there. That's the one that goes in there. And again, I know it doesn't matter because I'm replacing it. Replacing all of them. I just want to keep everything together for the moment. And again, as you see, I'm being totally anal, making sure that the two number 3s go together, because that's how they're meant to be. Number 3, number 3. I'm just going to lightly tap it back together and drop the bearing on the floor. Oh, and that's part of the procedure. You must drop the bearing on the floor because it makes you look like a complete prick. What do you mean, I'm incomplete? I am definitely a complete prick. Well, sometimes. Okay, I'm not going to bother. I'm just going to tap it on, put the nuts on, put it all in the bag, and then deal with the rest of these. And you saw what I did with this one. I'm going to do the same with the other 6, and there is no point really in you watching me do the other 6 unless you're really bored. So let's put this in its relevant bag, which is number 1, number 2, number 3. Alright, boys and girls, thought I'd bring you back one last time for piston number 1. The final piston. The rest of these came out easy, and in fact when I'd got down to the last 2 pistons I could even turn the crank by hand, which hopefully is a good sign that the bore is in pretty good condition. So here we go. The final piston. Not that that's the end of my work. Ha ha ha. Nope. Cap doesn't want to come off. So, again, just gentle, and it's a little upward tap you need to do. It kind of shocks it and gets it up. And I'm just putting light pressure on with my thumb. Takes a bit of persuasion. There she goes, slowly but surely, not hitting it hard, don't want to damage it. It's just giving it a vibration. There you go. And off comes the cap. Let's just tap that down. And push it down. Well, look at that. That just pushes down with my fingers so easily. And here are the shells. And again, they have sacrificed themselves for the sake of the bearing, which is what they should do. Which is their job. Now, I don't think I'll be able to push this all the way out, but we'll try it. Nope, just needs a little persuasion down here. There we go. Look at that. Out like a dream. And there she is, number 1. What a beautiful thing. And let's see how good or bad she is. The rest of them looked pretty much the same. That's about right, but I think I'm going to replace the small end bearings as well. Do I need to? Nah, probably not. There is unfortunately a scar on here on this piston, and hands up, I did it. It was when I was taking the studs out I didn't realise the piston was up, and I just cut across it. I'm not sure if I'm going to try and repair that. I probably won't. I don't want to buy just one piston. That seems kind of ridiculous. I don't think it's going to affect it that much. So that is the final piston out. Piston broke, as they say. Actually, my pistons aren't broke. My pistons are good. So now we'll just put this in the bag with the rest of them. Of course, it doesn't want to go on. The rest of them just slip straight on, but because I'm actually filming this, it doesn't want to do that. So we'll give it a little persuasion again. I like my persuaders. They work very well. And as always, I'm not hitting this thing hard for obvious reasons. Now, there is my little crank. Hey, my little crank. Look at that, baby. Oh, that turns so well. Oh, okay, I know there's no pistons on there, but that is smooth. I don't feel any grinding, anything. That is really good. Well, I'm expecting some damage on the main bearing shells, because there is damage on the big end bearing shells and wear, but what do you expect from an engine that's this old, huh? Hey, that's good. All right. Oh my God, I've blown a glove. Nothing worse than blowing a glove. Well, we'll leave that one there. I guess I shouldn't comment any further, otherwise I will be arrested. Okay, give me 1 second here. Let me get this one in, and then I'm going to shut you guys down. And here we are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pistons, all looking pretty good. Need clean up, but they all look pretty good. And over here, crank again, looking pretty good. Next thing will be for me to take all the main bearing caps off. Again, put them in bags, making note of where all the brackets are. You see, bracket here, bracket here, bracket here. Yep. All right, next thing you're going to see is me taking that off. But first, I need to change my gloves. Oh my gosh. All right, here we go again. This time, big end bearing caps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yes, 7. There are 7 big end bearing caps on the crank, unlike pistons, which there are 6. And those of you that are looking at my number 7 are going, ooh, that looks weird, he's funny. That's a throwback from when I was in information technology. Computers to you lot. Actually, my bro was in it as well. And I believe he does his 7s the same. There, a little bit of education for you. Why? Because when you write that number on a line, you can see that it's a 7 and not a Z. Yes, I said Z, not a Z. All right, boys and girls. Now we need something a little more aggressive to undo these cap nuts. So I have here my hammer dropping on the floor, my impact wrench, and it is a 1/2 inch, and I put a 3/8 adapter on it because I can't seem to find my 3/4 impact socket, so I'm hoping that nothing shears. We will find out. Let's start with this big ass one here. Oh dear, that's not going well. Oh, there she goes. I'm surprised. Alright, let's undo them all. Alright, I'm going to take a break right here. Why? Because my compressor's run out of air. So I need to fire that baby up and I'll be right back. Alright, compressor's fired up. Should have more power now. Wow. Oh, there she goes. Wow. These mothers are tight. Okay, let's hope we can get through this without having to fire the compressor again. These ones are coming out real easy. Makes me think that if somebody'd been in here, they didn't torque them properly. Last one. There she goes. All right. Now let's grab ourselves a bag. We'll start with number 1 here. It doesn't want to move, of course, so we're going to need to where's my little persuader gone? Oh yes, I dropped it, didn't I? Alright, let's get the persuader and see if we can get this baby to move. Gooey. Let me put those down on the floor. I think I might have to get something underneath those. See if these will release. Oh yeah, hear the change in tone there? Yeah, that released. Okay, I can probably pry this off now. I'm not going to bore you guys watching me do this on everyone, as I often say. Just let me see if I can get one off to show you. There she comes, walking down the street. Get the funniest looks from everyone we meet. Hey, hey, with the junkies. Oops, sorry, wrong song. Yeah, I know. My singing's awful, my wife says. Not looking so bad. All right, let me get the rest of these off and go back to this one. And we'll rejoin when I do this final one. Okay, that's a good night from me, and it's a good night from him, although I will be back before you can say supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Okay, before I progress any further on to the last one, there are 2 things I want to show you. One is that this middle bearing cap is obviously extremely difficult to get out, and it has thrust washers on it. These must be replaced to get the end float correct. And do note, these little grooves here, they go against the crank, not up against the housing, for obvious reasons. The oil will flow through it. The other thing I wanted to show you was one of my bearings. This one here, look at that. The bearing has just broken up for whatever reason. Don't know why, but it has. That would explain a lot of the metal that I have or had in my oil pan. So just wanted to bring that to your attention to show you that. Alright, here we go with the final cap. You saw me release these bolts earlier, so that's no surprise to you. What the surprise is this bastard doesn't want to come out. There she goes. Hey, I'm on camera, of course it doesn't want to work. And again, this one's locked. So it's going to need a little persuasion. Be careful not to hit this, it's brass, you will destroy it. Oh, one thing I didn't mention or note for you guys, a lot of these have a lip that sticks over so you can get underneath and just gently pry until it gives up to you. And then it comes off easily, he says, because every one of them's got a dowel. Oh, and I'm fighting, aren't I? Of course I'm fighting the timing gear. Sorry, it's the distributor and the timing gear. I've got to get that off first. I forgot about that. So I have to remove this first, and then also, while I'm telling you guys things that have to be removed, this has to be removed in order to get the crank out. There are 2 Allen screws up here and the same on the other side, and that releases this part, and then this other piece here that my finger is on is retained, and then you can remove that later. Alright, so there you go, that's pretty much it. The only thing I'm going to do now is take that timing gear off. I keep calling it timing gear, it's with the distributor. So I've got to bend the flange back, undo the nut, pull the cog off, then I can get this cap off, then do this end, and what I will probably do, because of it's on the stand and it's awkward to get to, is I'll undo these Allen screws here and take the whole thing off and then separate it once it's on the bench. Alright boys and girls, that's going to be it for this particular video. Any comments? Feel free. If I like them, I'll say so. If I don't, I'll also say so. Please bear in mind, I've said it before, much to other people's objection, I'm no expert, but I do have a shitload of knowledge, having worked in a Jaguar garage and dealt with these engines more times than I care to remember. So again,